Peace and hair grease, everybody. Yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. whatever you want me to be. But it is Friday, and today I'm going to be the man that's bringing you the heat. And I figured, you know what? With everything that's going on in my life right now, and with these last couple of months plus, dealing with my wife and her two broken arms, not just one. We found out that her left arm was broken too. We were all trying to figure out what the heck, because she was in so much pain with the left arm, and that wasn't, we thought at the time, a broken arm. Well, she found out it was broken as well. Not as bad as her right, but anyway, dealing with that and work and kids and everything else, I figured I'm going to try and do this every Friday. I'm going to try, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing that it is casual day at my employment, at my workplace, at my job, that I figured, you know what, why not? Why not just go ahead and just do what I do? Got up and actually shaved, got myself together somewhat, and let's just converse until I pull into the parking lot. How about that? Now, there may be a break in the action in regards to coverage, but that's nothing I can do. That's how the world of cellular data works. But let's go ahead and get right into it. I want to talk about a few things. And the first thing I want to talk about is this Oregon governor. I can't remember her name. Her name is escaping me at the moment. But she decided, because the state legislature were going to vote on some climate environmental bill. To be honest, I didn't even look to see what the actual bill itself was or consisted of. But the Republican members of the state legislature were going to boycott this said vote on this bill. Well, I guess the governor of Oregon got her panties in a bunch, and this actually happened. She was threatening to do it, but she ended up doing it, I believe. Don't know what the consequence of such action. Don't know if it actually went down in the way that I think that it went down. But she sent out the Oregon Capitol Police to round up, ladies and gentlemen, like cattle, these individuals of the state legislature who happen to be Republican, and bring them back to the assembly to vote on this bill. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, what are you going to do if you somehow round these individuals up and bring them back? That's number one, okay? What are you going to do? They already told you they're not going to vote for this bill, and they're boycotting it, and they must have some reason or beyond what you're thinking to boycott to even vote on this bill, lady. So what are you going to do? Force them to vote yes? This is the mentality of the left in this country today, ladies and gentlemen. It is do everything by force, 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 force. Coercion, bribery, lying, cheating, stealing, everything else that you can think of. This is how the left and the mainstream media operates in today's society. Now, I'm thinking to myself, if I was one of those Republican members of Congress, I would say, you know what? Take me to jail. Because first of all, I don't think she has the right, number one, to round up members of a legislature of her state just because they're boycotting a bill that they don't want to vote on, or boycotting you in particular and your leftist cronies. I gotta look this up and find out. If someone can find out what mechanisms she has in place in order to facilitate this, if there's some type of writing on the wall in the Oregon State Legislature where she can call on the Capitol Police to round up individuals just because they're boycotting a bill that her and her political party has put forth, I would like to know. I'd like to know if that's even possible. But from what I saw last night, she sent the Oregon Capitol Police out to round up these Republican members of Congress. Like I said, force, coercion, demagoguery, I think that's how you pronounce the word. Straight, just evil tactics from the left, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they do. Now, let's go ahead and move on to what I found out last night. Devin Nunes put out last night in regards to the testimony of one Hope Hicks, Miss Fine-ass Hope Hicks, and Democrat congressmen, I think it was a woman. If it was a woman, then okay. But I believe it was just Democrat congressmen. During her testimony, some of their questions was about her love life. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Democrat congressmen asking a former White House administration employee, Hope Hicks to be exact, asking about her love life. Now, what does that have to do, ladies and gentlemen? What does that have to do with their witch hunt of trying to find anything to nail President Trump with? We have some pervs within that particular committee asking a woman about her love life. Now, if this was flipped and a Republican committee member asked a former Democrat White House employee about her love life, Lord have mercy. You talk about horns blaring, sirens going off, and everything else that you could think of that would facilitate an emergency. They would have been up in arms. But it's okay for a Democrat congressman, I believe, to ask a former White House administration employee of a Republican president about their love life. How despicable is that? How pitiful is that, ladies and gentlemen? What was he trying to find out? What was his angle? What was his ultimate goal? I see pervert kind of written over this person's forehead, and if it was multiple individuals asking about her love life, then that's even worse. It's already bad in and of itself of one person asking the question, but if it was several individuals of this committee asking about Hope Hicks's love life, when this particular session of testimony was supposed to be about whatever these Democrats and leftists and liberals and numbnut moonbats, this witch hunt trying to find anything to take down President Trump. Now, you may say to yourself, this is just, standard operating procedure. You know what? I'm going a different way to work today. Screw that. I usually go on my way in the street, one of the streets. If you live here in Pittsburgh, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how it is in the city where you live in, but it seems like every other friggin' street they're working on. There's road work. There's construction. But anywho, as I digress, and with all the rain that we've had lately here in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of landslides and things of that nature. So maybe this is the issue going on in this particular street. But anywho, to get back to the topic at hand, when you have individuals who go out of the realm and scope of whatever task that may be in front of them, you have to look at the ultimate goal, the ulterior motive, the end-all, be-all of what they're trying to accomplish. And they're just trying to get any dirt on President Trump. Any dirt whatsoever. Whatever dirt that they're trying to find, they're not going to find. They're just trying to find anything to somehow hurt his re-election campaign and to become president back to back, baby, as Magic Johnson said back in the day, back to back come next November in 2020. Now, speaking of the re-election in 2020, Trump kicked off his re-election campaign this past week in Orlando, Florida, at the Amway Center. for the Orlando Magic of the National Basketball Association. And of course, everything was twisted, turned, made it to be out as wackos showing up at a rally for President Trump. You go look back at the coverage from the leftist numbnut moonbat media. Everything was about, oh my gosh, he's not pulling in the numbers that he says he's pulling in, which he did, plus. You got nothing but wackos and racists and Islamophobics and Hicks and isms showing up at this rally. Wrong. The left just cannot comprehend. They will never comprehend what happened in 2016. They are still reeling from their loss. So whatever has transpired since then has been a pathetic effort to delegitimize President Trump's election win in 2016. Delegitimize anything that he has put forth that has been a victory for the United States of America and its citizens. And paint President Trump out to be every ism, ist, and ick there is, and whoever may happen to support President Donald J. Trump, you are in that boat as well. You are part and parcel of in their minds, the ending of the United States of America as they know it. Not what the majority in the mainstream of America knows what America is about, but the leftist numbnut moonbats in their view of what America, in their eyes of what America should be. And if it's any indication from the 50,000 leftist numbnut moonbat candidates that have come out trying to take down President Trump in 2020, not even the far left leap, ladies and gentlemen. There isn't a left. There's not even a direction that can be coined as to how far away from mainstream America these candidates and the Democrat Party have leaped toward. Now, I'm thinking to myself, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm looking down at my gas gauge and just realize that you got that one bar, but yet this is a small economy car. I know I can get to work and be fine and get to the gas station during lunch. Sorry for the tangent. But ladies and gentlemen, as I digress and get back to the topic at hand, with the leftist leap towards I don't know what direction they want to take America, there is going to be and I'm talking about, and I'm hoping, ladies and gentlemen, I can't predict what's going to happen in 2020. I don't know if there's going to be a drop-off in enthusiasm as far as supporting President Trump and his re-election bid. I don't know. But they're already putting out polls, and I put a video out earlier this week about trusting polls, because we know what happened with those polls in 2016. Just do what you do on a daily basis, support our president, and come next year, when it's time to vote, you know who you should be voting for. There shouldn't be any hesitation, because before 2016's election, it's not that I was in flux in regards to who I was going to vote for. I just wasn't completely on the Trump train. And everyone knew that at the time. I was never Hillary all day, every day, and I'll be never Hillary until my last breath. But as the years have gone and the Trump administration doing everything within its power to make America great again, keeping America great, setting record lows in unemployment, tax cuts, freeing prisoners from North Korea. What else? Now with the present signing of the new agreement as far as NAFTA, and I forgot what the name of his USMCA or something like that. I can't think of what the acronym right now, and initials of the new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada. But the Mexican president has already, and the Mexican government has already signed off on it. So the left and the leftist lamestream media thought it would never happen. He's calling for accountability of the world actors in regards to NAFTA, in regards to the global conglomerate, if you want to call it, of our allies. And number one, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the UN, holding the UN accountable, holding our allies accountable, going after our enemies. You look at ISIS. Now he's claiming victory in regards to ISIS. You know, there's still some little rugrats being brought up. There's still some cockroaches under the inertia over there in the Middle East and across. And it's not just in the Middle East, it's in Europe too. Remnants of ISIS. But for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our foot on the neck of ISIS. But there are still, like I said, remnants of the radical Islamists out there. But I think if President Trump is reelected, you know how, the game of whack-a-mole? It'll be a whack-a-mole situation in regards to radical Islam, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra, any radical Islamic front that may want to try and attempt to make some type of point in the name of Allah and their religion, Islam. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am a type of person to where there's always going to be a remnant of everything. You look at racism, and that's going to be my next topic. There's always going to be racist individuals walking this planet. Okay? What percentage and what amount that is out there in this world right now is nowhere near what it used to be decades ago. And the left and the mainstream media do not want to acknowledge that. The left and the mainstream media do not want to even give that notion the time of day. Because if they don't have racism, isms, ists, and icks to bring forth to their audience every day on a daily basis, what else do they have? Because they don't talk about actual news, ladies and gentlemen, of what's going on in the world, because 90+% of their coverage is bash Trump. You go ahead, and this is a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is going to be a very hard challenge. But I challenge you one day to turn on CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, their news coverage, and look and see how much of bash Trump all day, every day is happening during their broadcasts. And you will see that these people are not news outlets anymore. Okay? They're propaganda outlets, bash Trump outlets, kill the GOP outlets, support anything and everything that is leftist, that is liberal, and that is of the Democrat way. And then they'll go and scream and yell like one punk-ass, drunk-ass Don Lemon did the other day, pointing out, saying that his particular news outlet and him himself saying he's not a leftist liberal, saying that their coverage isn't leftist leaning. Stevie Wonder can see okay, that the leftist mainstream media are leftists. So when you have a situation where, number one, ladies and gentlemen, and we do have to talk about racism for just a second, and it's not just about the normal racism that we know of and have known from decades past. I'm talking about the new racism, ladies and gentlemen, to where you just blame someone or say that someone's racist when you know damn well they're not, in order to facilitate your argument, in order to somehow clap back at the opposition, because you have, number one, don't have the logic, the wherewithal, and facts at your fingertips to support said argument. You have to use, and what I see and what I feel is one of the most downright dirty things that you can do, call someone out as being a racist when you know that they're not. Because when you call somebody a racist, automatically ears perk up. Automatically everyone is at attention. Excuse me. So we're already at that point, you have your audience. And this is what the leftist mainstream media and the Democrat Party does. They make outrageous statements like Ocasio-Cortez does on a daily basis. Because number one, she was thrust herself into the spotlight. So she has to do with everything within her power to keep herself relevant and in the spotlight. Because that spotlight now, for one, Ocasio-Cortez and everyone else on the leftist side of things, it's like a drug. They're like an alcoholic. They're like a drug addict. They need it. They crave it. They want it. And if, for whatever reason, if a day goes by where they're not in the headlines in some form or fashion, then they will manufacture some type of crisis in order to keep themselves in the spotlight and keep themselves relevant. Now, for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a type of person where, and the people that know me, I'm a laid-back individual. I would rather not have to do things like this. I would rather not have to clap back at the leftist mainstream media and the Democrat Party almost on a daily basis. I'm on the defense because I'm always trying to defend myself and who I am and what I believe in. And let's take it to a second level here, and especially, and I'm going to move on to the final topic about reparations and the nonsense that's going on right now with that. But I put out a quick little video the other day, or was it yesterday? I can't believe it. The days are all jumbled together, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it is. But I just basically said, for 8 years, white liberals and black liberals had their black president for 8 years. 8 friggin' years. You may have heard a sprinkling of reparations, but not to where it is right now. And it is like a campaign point right now for the leftist Democrat candidates. They had a hearing at Congress, a congressional hearing about reparations for slavery. And then we have a couple of black individuals, one who was a former Democrat and one who's a current Democrat, who are against reparations. And for those who know me, I'm against reparations as well. But one younger individual was called out by black people on social media as being a sellout, a coon, and every other derogatory statement you could possibly make in regards to a black person calling someone else in regards to what a black person should be or not be in this case. And I said to myself, you can't be a black individual in America and not fall in line with the leftist liberal ideology. Because if you're an individual like me, you are taken to task. You are called every name in the book, not just by white liberals, but black liberals as well. And black liberals bring it harder and fiercer than any white liberal could bring it. Now, there may be some really closeted white liberals that could call me the N-word and everything else, which they do. We've seen that. It's on tape. It's documented. But black liberals who can't stand the fact that my ideology is not of what they are, of what the majority of black people in America believe in. Us black conservatives are like unicorns. But I don't look at myself as a unicorn. I look at myself as Daniel Clifford Adams. My mother, Shirley Adams, okay? My father, the Reverend Samuel Adams Jr., may they rest in peace. Individuals who have, I guess, I don't know, had a wherewithal themselves to raise their children and raise me in a way to where I am self-thinking, to where I am independent, to where I am my own man and I'll make my own decisions. I don't have to fall into the realm of groupthink. I don't have to shuck and jive in order to make other individuals who have this majority groupthink ideology, that is the leftist ideology, the liberal ideology, the Democrat ideology that the majority of black America hold on to. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not afraid to go outside the box. I'm not afraid, ladies and gentlemen, to be who God intended me to be. So as I wrap up this heat for this Friday, you know I got to wrap it up how I normally wrap up these. May God continue to bless you and yours. May he keep you and your family safe from any harm or danger. May God enlighten you with the wisdom, the knowledge, and the wisdom. Saying it twice. The wisdom, the knowledge, and the wisdom and understanding to be the best Christian that you can possibly be. To be the best parent, husband, wife, father, mother, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, nephew, niece. To be the best human being to the next human being that you may run into today. May God continue to bless you and yours. Until next time, peace.
If I said it, I meant it. Bite my tongue for